Yeah, you know what time it is. No scripts, no filters, no fear. We said what we said and meant that. Off the record. Off the record, yeah, we keep it real. No filter shit, we say what we feel. Politics, stories, truth on display. Come on. We talk that talk in our own way. Off the record, minion the God, let's go. Foxy 2 Roxy 3, she go hard.
I swear on everything, that is exactly what he said right here in the studio.
That is the funniest thing I have heard all week.
So hard, Lizzie with the facts, she never miss. Nah. I said what I said, that's the twist. Off the record, yeah. Come and catch the vibe. Where real ones talk and the truth survive. Late night truth, we don't just speak. Nah. We pull the roots from what they keep. From pain to progress, we light the flame. No spin, no script, we call it by name. Minion bring the vision, Foxy bring the flame. Lizzie drop a cease, it'll never be the same. I said what I said, say it loud, no shame. We taking truth global, remember the name. No apologies, no disguise. Just soul and purpose in our eyes. We move with power, bold and free. Say it loud, you gon' feel this energy.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy. It's the Off the Record show with your boy, Minion with Opinion, aka Minion the God. And I have my hostess with the mostest. I said what I said. What's going on? I said what I said.
Hey, man. Hey, friend. Hello to everyone.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good this Sunday evening. Getting ready for the week.
Okay. Getting ready to go to y'all jobs tomorrow.
Okay, our government jobs.
Y'all black government jobs. Y'all gotta get ready to go. Some of y'all do, some of y'all don't.
Right.
But for the ones who do, hey, go do what you do.
We getting ready.
Y'all getting ready, that's right.
All right. Well, tonight, y'all, I know y'all already heard the craziness. It's on every headline, every news station. Everybody's been talking about it. But, do we really care? That's the question. But we're going to be talking about the assassination attempt of Donald Trump is what they're categorizing it as. I think it was just like a crazy person who got into an event and tried to shoot it up. But, we're going to talk about it today.
It sounds like you've been listening to Trump because that's exactly what he said.
Yeah, some crazy left-wing lunatic.
Yeah.
Some crazy left, extreme, radicalized leftists went in there and tried to,
He almost named it before it happened.
Okay. Yeah, almost like he already knew, huh?
Yeah, like, how you know where he's from? Like, how you know who the hell he was that quick?
They already knew what they were going to categorize him as.
Yeah. And so what else we're going to get into tonight, Minion?
Then we're going to talk about a debate that just came out today on the Jubilee channel. If you guys don't remember what the Jubilee channel is, it's the crazy channel that does the one person against 20 different people debates. And today it was on Israel. And I guess they're right to take over the Middle East, pretty much.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sound like America. Sound interesting.
Mm.
Sound familiar.
You're gonna learn a lot on that debate too, because I listened to it, and they talk about a lot of things that I had no idea about prior.
Okay.
So, and then we'll finish the stream off with a person that I don't know if you guys have heard of, but he's very controversial. He's white. I mean, he's black, but he supports Trump. He calls Trump the Great White Hope. So you guys
Wow.
may know who I'm talking about, but he's going to be going up against, is it Brian Shapiro?
Yeah, his name is Brian. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about. We're going to be reacting to that debate. So first things first, guys. Let's get into the assassination. Oh, well, before that, did you want to shout anyone out?
I do. We do have a few people in the chat. So shout out to the Bushes. Thank you for being here. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, we have Who Dat in the house. Who Dat say she's answering your thumbnail and she said it was a play.
Oh, okay. What's
Hello.
up, who that?
So shout out to Who Dat for answering the thumbnail. And hey sis, hey.
Oh, we have
Foxy.
Foxy, y'all. What's good, Foxy? Glad.
She says she's out of town right now, but she's watching us.
All right. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Foxy.
And then we have I'll Do It on Monday. Welcome in, I'll Do It on Monday.
That's right.
Thank you for being here.
What's good?
And thank you too, Who Dat, for being here, and Foxy. And thank you that's in for everyone that's in the bushes. Thank you guys for being here also. We appreciate everybody.
Everybody. All right, guys. So let's get into the first video clip. This is going to be coming from the Midas Touch, and let's talk about this assassination.
Very damning and peculiar admissions are surfacing from the Trump regime about the alleged shooting at the White House Correspondents Dinner last night. First, that the alleged shooter, Cole Allen, supposed to be a 31-year-old from California who got an engineering degree from Caltech. Apparently, he was nowhere near Donald Trump when the shooting occurred. He still basically remained outside of the security perimeter, but everybody was acting like he got very close. It should also be noted that there was no designated survivor in the room where the White House Correspondents Dinner was taking place. That's a pretty odd thing, and it goes against all protocol. Also, it was pretty odd that the Secret Service went to protect J.D. Vance first instead of Donald Trump. I think most significantly, the Trump regime and all of its sycophants have made this instantly about Donald Trump's golden ballroom, and in unison, now it's like 50 to 60 of the top MAGA influencers and the top people in the Trump regime with a unified voice, all basically posting the same message. This is why we need a golden ballroom. This is why we need a golden ballroom. Donald Trump made a post this morning also saying, this is why I need a golden ballroom. And now MAGA Republicans are saying, you know what? Really, the taxpayers are the ones who need to pay for the golden ballroom. In the next Department of Homeland Security funding bill, the taxpayer should be paying for this golden ballroom because of this incident. There's a lot of other red flags that I want to go through with you one by one.
Hold them the hell up. Did I just hear him say the taxpayer is going to pay for this ballroom?
Yeah, he said that's what
I thought he had his donors and his friends and whoever else was going to help him pay for this ballroom. But all the money that he's gotten since he's been in the administration looked like he would have his own money for this ballroom since, after all, he's the one who wanted it.
And on top of that, it feels like where did the money go? The people that that already donated. Because
Right.
why would we still need additional? I mean, you didn't get the 200 or 300 million up front from these donors. Why would there still be an
A
additional
billion.
balance that needs to be paid by American taxpayers? So that's kind of
Right.
weird.
Right. But I have my thoughts on what's going on here, but I will keep them to myself until we have, you know, substantial evidence of my thoughts, and I'm pretty sure that'll come out in, probably by the end of the week. So
Right.
we'll get back to this.
But like, let's not forget that Donald Trump's approval heading into this White House Correspondents' Dinner was the lowest in presidential history, right? His approval was 33% based on the latest AP North poll on the economy. It was 30%. That's worse than Nixon at the time of Nixon's resignation. Also, let's not forget what happened yesterday as well, where there was supposed to be, if you believe the Trump regime's version of events, a meeting in Pakistan with the Iranian delegation, with Foreign Minister Araghchi and others from Iran, even though the Iranian delegation had always said they're not meeting with the Trump regime. Donald Trump used the same media that was in the room at this White House Correspondents' Dinner to spread lies to the American people and manipulate the markets on Friday that this meeting was going to take place. When the Iranian foreign minister left, Trump regime had to come up with their next lie, and they said, oh, well, the Iranians sent us the document. We just didn't like the document, so we didn't want to waste our time. So that's the events that we're heading into this White House Correspondents' Dinner. And then, the alleged incident takes place. And I mean, just look at the conduct and behavior of the Trump regime officials as we posted on the Midas Touch account. They were all smiles. I mean, they looked like they were having the time of their life after this alleged shooting. I mean, look at them. Like, they're literally partying with the media. Like, this should be a very serious and solemn incident if you actually think about historical events where shootings happened, right? But they're like high-fiving each other. They're laughing. They're jolly. He holds a press conference last night, 30 minutes after the incident, to demand a golden ballroom and then to say, well, this isn't going to impact the fact that we're still going to win the war in Iran. I mean, no matter what you believe or don't believe about the incident, what is an undisputed fact is he immediately turned it into a propaganda and political moment using the same sycophantic media that props him up in order to spread more propaganda to the American people. That's clear. Here are more photos of them all smiling. Look at Todd Blanche, J.D. Vance. Ha, 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 ha. They think this is the funniest thing ever. Here is Hegseth laughing. Alina Habba, after the incident, posted the following: 10 out of 10, slayed on the look. She said she's slayed. She thinks that she looks so good in her dress. She wants everybody to know after the shooting that she's slayed on the look. Then you had Chip Roy.
She slayed on the look, even after the
Wait, wait a
shooting.
minute. Wait. They had a whole scare of a shooting where everybody could have been possibly taken out, according to them. And everybody on here smiling and kiki and ha-han and posting selfies on social
Uh-huh.
media talking about they slaying looks.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
So this was right after the assassination attempt, right?
Right after.
The,
Yep.
the so-called assassination attempt.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm just trying to make it all make sense. Or is it just me?
No, it doesn't make sense. But I mean, it's good for entertainment. I mean, a lot of people, look to Trump as a savior because of all the assassination attempts on his life. So,
Hmm.
it would be good for them to, get another assassination attempt in before the midterms, so that
Oh.
that's is what my opinion is. That's just my
Hmm.
opinion. Let's
Hey,
hurry up and get another assassination attempt in.
right. Yeah, Miss Clark, it's unbelievable. How you doing this afternoon and this evening? Thank you for being here. And hey, allegedly, thank you for being here. Welcome in and happy Sunday, ladies.
Hey,
Yeah, this
ladies.
is it's like it's nothing that these people wouldn't this man won't do to change the trajectory of the news cycle, his numbers, his
Right.
decisions, his unsmart decisions. In my opinion, they're unsmart. It doesn't seem like he can make an intelligent decision that would actually stick and mean something to the American public. Everything just been kind of uh,
And now that we're talking about this assassination
kindergartenish.
attempt, guess what we're not talking about? The
Epstein files.
Trumpstein files.
I knew you was going there. Them Trumpstein files ain't going nowhere.
He think he got another distraction for us, so we're not going to be focused on what he's really trying to hide. And
Yeah, yeah. Change it. He won't change the news cycle, y'all. And he keep making those announcements about Iran, about talks and peace deals, and all of it is allegedly to get the stock market back up so the economy won't totally collapse.
insider trading, I mean, like what is it?
Allegedly, yeah.
Something manipulation,
Some
market
type
manipulation.
market manipulations is basically what he's been doing for the last month, so that the economy. Because if he doesn't do that, then we're going on a downward spiral as far as the economy goes, and so things would get extremely bad. If he don't pull some type of hoax. So
Exactly.
yeah, they allegedly say it's an embarrassment and it's almost like a movie. It really
Yeah.
is. It feels
Hmm.
like we're living in a dream for real.
A movie that no one would actually take serious because they wouldn't believe that it could actually happen in real life. But this is our, in fact, our reality. So
Yeah, this our real life at the time, baby.
MAGA Republican Congress members say any consideration of DHS reconciliation instructions this week and beyond should provide for the construction of a secure ballroom on White House grounds, in addition to other concerns being addressed regarding ICE, CBP, Save America, transgender and abortion funding, Recon 3, and more. In other words, now they're not just going to use the shooting the purported shooting, in order to try to build a golden ballroom, but they're also going to use it to attack the transgender communities and marginalized communities and try to prevent people from voting in a safe way now. I mean, that's where they're going with all of this. Then Donald Trump posts the following. What happened, this is what Trump posted this morning, 5:46 a.m. What happened last night is exactly the reason that our great military, Secret Service, law enforcement, and for different reasons, every president for the last 50 years has been demanding that a large, safe, and secure ballroom be built on the grounds of the White House. The event would never have happened with the military top
I've never
secret
heard any
ballroom
other
currently
president
under
say that.
construction at the White House. It cannot be built fast enough. While beautiful, it has every highest level security feature there is. Plus, there are no rooms sitting on top for unsecured people to pour in, and is inside the
first off, if we are in a situation where our ballroom has to be nuclear bomb proof, then we don't need a damn ballroom. Our priorities are messed up. Because
Right.
if
We
we
just need a
can't,
bunker, don't we? We got to have a ballroom and a bunker. We just do the bunker. I think a judge told him that too. Said that you can stop building this ballroom, but you can build that bunker you say you need, and that's not what he want. He want a ballroom.
right? Because I mean, at this point, if we're trying to avoid any potential threat, of violence, then yeah, let's just do the bunker. We don't need to have any balls, any celebrations in the ballroom now.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, maybe it's just too hostile of an environment that you've created for the United States for us to even be worried about a fucking ballroom. We're worried about our fucking lives and being able to pay for gas and groceries and our mortgages and rent.
That's
That's
part of
what
our life too.
that's what we're worried about. We don't need a ballroom right now.
Right.
In fact, can you put that money that you're investing into the ballroom back into the medical services that we offer people, the social services that we offer people that you're trying to take away? Why don't
Well,
you just
how about healthcare?
yeah, let's just put the money into the healthcare system. How
Yeah,
about
put it
that?
in Obamacare so it can thrive, and people don't have to pay the whole. They don't have to make a decision on whether or not they're going to pay their health care bill or household goods.
And then also the money that we're sending over to Israel. Let's get some of that back too, and pour it into the American people as well. Let's
Well,
do that.
I got a question for you. Have you heard any other presidents say that they want a golden ballroom
Never.
with a bunker? Because
No.
he said in the last 50 years, all the presidents asked for a bunker. I mean,
Now,
a ballroom.
yeah, they all wanted one, but yeah,
Yeah.
no.
And then you
No.
have this Congress. It's like
It's
they
just a
all.
lie.
But how can this guy sit up here, Chip Roy, and ask for a bill of goods all out because of an assassination attempt that wasn't even in the same room as Trump. It was on a whole different floor.
Right.
Just because somebody, fired off a gun, which that's what we're used to in America anyway, because we got the right to carry. Wasn't that what Charlie Kirk said?
Right. They were
Okay.
praising that man who went to that protest with that gun. What was his name? I forgot the man's
Kyle
name. Yeah.
Rittenhouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rittenhouse.
Yeah, the one that shot up the people up in was it North Carolina or South Carolina? South
Hmm.
Carolina. And, yeah, he went to South Carolina and shot those people up. Hey, Susie Mills, happy Sunday, and thank you for being here.
All
But
right, Susie, what's going on? Thank you for being in the building.
but how are he gonna sit here and say we need to fund all of this stuff just because of a attempted assassination,
That
on a whole nother floor?
right. Because this is what I'm telling you. This is what they use this stuff for. This is another grift.
It makes me feel like that this was, this happened just so that it's like it's a cause and effect like
Right.
type thing going on here. Like this happened, so we need to do this and that and the other that don't have anything to do with what happened. Because how is funding DHS going to have anything to do with an attempted, unaliving of Agent Orange?
Well, this attempted, in air quotes, assassination of Donald Trump is going to make way for a lot of different things for the Republicans. It's going to
Oh,
breathe
give
more
them an
life.
agenda.
Yeah, it helps their agenda, push their agenda forward because it breathes more life into the notion that these MAGA people think that Donald Trump is the Messiah, is the chosen one, and every assassination attempt and that he's able to pretty much avoid. It just makes him look more like he's a Christ-like figure in their eyes. So, of course, it's going to help that push that agenda forward. Then you're also going to be able to push the agenda forward for why we need a even bigger, more expensive, more bolsterous ballroom, um, even more greater than the one that he has already started work on, because now they need to make sure that it's bulletproof, bomb proof, nuclear proof, like everything they have to make sure, so it gives them an exponentially higher budget to get this ballroom created and a sense of urgency for the American people, and they can frame it in the light of it being for the American safety. You know what I'm saying? Like for
Hmm.
our better well being. So he's going to be able to push that forward. Then, like you said, now they're moving for the actual guards and the DHS and all that. So everybody's going to get something out of this.
What DHS and the Save Act? What do voting have to do with this? Because the Save Act is about restricting voters. So what do that have to do with this attempted assassination? That's what I'm saying. They're trying. It seems like they have an agenda to push, in my opinion, and like it was already planned, and it's like we don't have anything to run on, so this is gonna happen, and then we can just bam put this out and say this is what we need to do, so we can have something to run on for the midterms. That's what it seemed like to me. It's like it's a big melting pot of different of different ingredients of what, and like you said, everybody gonna get something out of this. It looked like
Hmm.
a big melting pot of goodies, and everybody gonna get what they need in order to succeed. I guess to try to succeed. Because
That's what.
if you keep it real, what bills have the Republicans passed since they've been in Congress for the last 2 years? They've been on vacation more than they've been at work.
Oh, I thought they was on vacation for the last 2 years because that's what it feels
Yeah,
like.
yeah, they've been vacationing a whole lot, way more than the American public get to take a vacation. Rest assured of that. But we'll just stay tuned to see what's going to happen. But all of this, it's a lot of questions that can be asked about this and why things are happening. Why these politicians are saying what they're saying right now, because none of it has anything to do, in my opinion, with an attempted assassination. Now, if they want to bring some things up, they can bring up like gun laws and restrictions. They can bring some of those type of laws up. What do you think? Because I don't hear them saying anything about that. It's like, every man for himself in America, because we still gonna let everybody stay armed. So really, that's what they should be talking about. But it's always too early to talk about that kind of stuff.
Right.
After something happens.
They definitely not about to be talking about taking people's guns away when there's an assassinate. So that could go both ways.
Right. Okay.
But let's continue listening to what these Midas people gonna say.
Okay. And shout out to the Midas Touch for allowing us to use this clip.
The gates of the most secured building in the world, the White House. The ridiculous ballroom lawsuit brought by a woman walking her dog who has absolutely no standing to bring such a suit must be dropped immediately. Nothing should be allowed to interfere with its construction, which is on budget and substantially ahead of schedule. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So now you would also want to hold the White House Correspondents Dinner inside the White House, when the very nature of what the event is supposed to be, it's supposed to show the independence of the press, that you visit them. But now you're using this to build your golden ballroom. And by the way, the press plays right into this, of course, as well. You'll have, on CNN, Dana Bash, asks Jamie Raskin, who's a guest, so don't you think the rhetoric of the Democrats is just a little too heated right now? Don't you think it's just too heated? You need to tone it down. Jamie Raskin's like, what are you talking about? Donald Trump's covering up child sex trafficking rings. Inflation is surging right now. He's engaged in war crimes in a lawful war. What does any of this have to do with anything? You're alleging that a shooter who got nowhere near the underlying event in the White House Correspondents' Dinner, that this now means golden ballrooms and we could give Donald Trump everything he wants and attack transgender community. What the hell are we even doing here? Here, play this clip of Jamie Raskin.
Yeah, and you have, and as many of your fellow Democrats, have used some heated rhetoric against the president. And do you think twice about that when something like this happens?
Well, what rhetoric do you have in mind?
Just talking about some of the fact that he, is terrible for this country and so on and so forth. I understand that that's your Democratic right, but overall, do you
I have
a
no
responsibility?
Personal problem with Donald Trump at all. I mean, I talk about the policies of this administration,
I have a personal problem with that motherfucker, and why can't you say that you have a personal problem with it? Just because I have a personal problem with him doesn't give other people the right to go kill him. If they want to do that, they do that on their own, because their own relationship between Donald Trump and them. That doesn't have anything to do with anything that comes out of anyone's mouth, unless they're saying go out and
Right.
So this is the framing. I don't like the way that they framing this question towards him, as if we, the American body, shouldn't have anything negative to say because it could cause this to happen. Oh well, he brought it on his fucking self.
Like somebody saying something is inspiring someone else to do what happened last night, because and I don't even see the Democrats defaming Donald Trump. They're talking about his policy.
They don't talk hard enough against them, to me, if you ask me.
Yeah. But the Congress don't even, the Democrats don't even say anything about him. They talk about his policies,
right,
and how they're not working. And
Absolutely.
so, the news is just trying to prop this up, make it look like it's the Democrats' fault. I guess do the Republicans' bidding. Maybe CNN getting ready to be part of Fox News. I don't know. That don't want to tell the truth because, I don't know.
I don't like this framing, but we'll see how it goes.
Authoritarianism, like we saw on display in Minneapolis, where 2 of our citizens were gunned down in the streets simply for exercising their First Amendment rights. Renee Good, Alex Preddy, and others have, died in custody. I'm talking about policies. I don't personalize it. And I certainly have never called the press the enemy of the people. I think the press are the people's best friend. And that's why it's written right there into the First Amendment. We need the press to be a vigilant watchdog against every level of government, federal, state, local, all of it.
You're not going to get an argument.
What's wrong with his eyes? Is it just me or does his... I ain't gonna even focus on that.
He may have a pink eye.
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know.
On that, before I let you go.
And then on Meet the Press, you had Donald Trump's acting attorney general, Todd Blanche. When he was asked, what do you think it was safe to have the vice president and the president, defense secretary, treasury secretary, all of these people in the same room? And Blanche was like, the shooter didn't even get close at all.
What's going on, Nana and Nene?
Here, play this clip.
Was it safe to have the president, cabinet officials, members of Congress, the first lady, the vice president, such high-ranking officials all in the same room at the same time?
Yes, of course. We're not going to stop living. We're not going to start doing our jobs. We're not going to stop all the work that we're doing every day. And by the way, and you were there last night as well. Let's not forget that the suspect didn't get very far. He barely broke the perimeter, and by barely I mean by a few feet. And so while this was extraordinarily dangerous and put a lot of lives at risk, and there's no doubt that that's something that we're going to have to learn from over the next couple weeks, the system worked. We were safe. President Trump was safe. His Secret Service agents kept.
Let me just put a picture in your mind right quick. So you had everybody there, all the successions, right? Even Mike Johnson was there, which is the Speaker of the House. So what if the threat was more imminent than what it was? And not saying that I want something to happen, but I'm just giving you an example of what could happen. What if all of them were taken out? Guess who's going to be the president? Since all of them in this one room together. Hakeem Jeffries. Because it goes from the president, the vice president, the Speaker of the House, which he was there too, and then you got the Hakeem Jeffries, which is the I forgot what his
leader.
Well, he's the leader of the Democrat Party, and he's the Speaker for the Democrat Party. He's not the Speaker of the House, but he's the leader for the Democrat Party. So he's next in line. So they may want to, read that up, check on.
They need to learn from the Iranians what to do when the whole regime get.
Well, they can actually watch TV and see how it goes. Because you never have everybody, you don't have that many, you don't have your whole cabinet.
High-ranking.
You don't have that many high-ranking officials in one place at one time because of something could happen, And so that's a security risk for him and his team while they're trying to allegedly, quote unquote,
we're not going to stop living our lives.
Well, I'm just saying, for them to do that, and they're allegedly, in my opinion, staging another coup. And all of them could have been taken out, and then Hakeem Jeffries would have been the president, and MAGA sure wouldn't have liked that at all.
So y'all better be a little more careful the way y'all out here.
They better start reading in the government and how it works. I don't think they understand.
Him safe. All of us were safe. And so while, yes, it was a very tragic situation, as President Trump said last night, we are not going to stop living. We're not going to stop being out there with the American people. And that's, if that was his goal, he failed.
And he was stopped. He was able, as you say, to breach that security checkpoint by merely a few feet.
And I think that's an important point that at least Jennifer Jacobs points out. The shooting happened, or the alleged shooting happened, on the level above the ballroom where the White House Correspondents Association dinner was. I don't think people hearing about this, or even thus in the room, realize how far away from the president and people in the room this incident was. It was on another floor, up some stairs, and several sets of security away, because the Washington Hilton's hotel and other public spaces were open for other functions. The entire building wasn't secured by the Secret Service, just the specific areas where the White House Correspondents Association dinner was held, law enforcement officials have been saying. And so this is who they're saying the guy was who did it. This is who they're alleging. A guy by the name of Cole Allen, California computer scientist, 31 years old. He went to Caltech, mechanical engineer, former student researcher at NASA's Elite Jet Propulsion Laboratory, computer scientist with advanced master's degree. At Caltech, he built offensive and defensive robotic systems, physics-based simulations. He graduated in 2017. This is what Asra Namani is reporting. Here's just a quick clip of him when he was in Caltech that has surfaced recently. Here, play this clip right here.
College student Cole Allen developed a prototype for a wheelchair emergency brake.
The wheelchair brakes tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground. The idea with this is to prevent it from moving at all.
Recent Aging into the Future conference held by St. Barnabas Senior Services and the Eisner Foundation offered a test run on products that have the potential to enrich the lives of seniors.
And I'll also show you how CNN's trying to frame this. This is how Brian Stelter is trying to frame this, that, Donald Trump just called for unity. This was all about unity, everybody. Here, let's play this clip right here.
A couple minutes before this happened, I was with House Speaker Mike Johnson. I shook Johnson's hand. I was talking to him. And then I was walking across the ballroom, Victor, kind of taking the long way toward the CNN tables because I wanted to see some of my friends and some of my sources. And so I ended up on the ground next to a executive from Comcast, some people from NBC. And in that moment, there was a lot of unity. And I'm thankful that President Trump talked about that unity last night and did not try to heighten the tensions or escalate the situation. He could have very easily gone out there and bashed the press last night and blamed the media for attracting this suspect to the ballroom. But instead, he basically said, we're all in this together. And that's certainly true. And that's how it feels this morning as well.
More from MAGA right here, one of their top influencers, this guy, Scott Pressler, who's their main voter outreach guy. He posted the following: Dear Leader Thune and our Republican Senate majority, since Democrats are literally trying to assassinate President Trump, can you come back to Washington, D.C. and pass the Save America Act before Democrats have the opportunity to win back power? Thank you. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes, MAGA activists and influencers seizing on the incident in a lobby that was actually not close to the ballroom for unrelated pieces of legislation. Then you had other MAGA influencers saying the Secret Service agent shot had been working without pay for over a month. They're alleging a Secret Service agent was shot in a bulletproof vest, and the Secret Service have been working without pay. Yeah.
I don't even believe that, but whatever.
Yeah, Secret Service agent.
He said it was a hoax. He said, being said it's a lie.
Have indeed been receiving pay during the ongoing DHS shutdown, which is really just impacting ICE, funded through other means like the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. The department remains unfunded, but agents are being paid. The Secret Service are being paid. This was a lie that MAGA tried to push out. Then there was this other part of the incident where you had Dan Scavino trying and failing to start the, and by the way, there's no one closer to the regime than Dan Scavino. I mean, he's as close as you get. And as soon as this bizarre incident happened, again, not close to where the ballroom was, he wanted to start a USA chant. So he was like, USA, USA. And then nobody else was doing the chant. Here, play this clip.
They're definitely trying to make the most out of it.
Yeah, right.
There's somebody with them.
Yeah. They're trying to capitalize.
Yeah,
God bless America! USA! USA! USA!
Did somebody say shut up?
Yeah.
Shut your dumb ass up, sir. We trying to make sure we safe.
Right.
And again, in breaking protocol, you see that the Secret Service went for J.D. Vance first over Donald Trump. Here, play this clip.
All right.
They probably had to go clean his diaper after all that excitement before
Baby,
he
Papa
came back
fell
out.
all the way. Papa fell all the way on the floor. He's such a strong man, you know.
He
For
probably
battle,
shit
you
his
know.
pants. I mean, his diaper for real.
For real, for real.
They had to
And
clean
did you
him
see
up.
how he was looking? You know, first of all, how you gonna rescue J.D. Vance before you rescue Trump?
Well,
Okay,
hell,
that's probably number one. And then it looked like Melania was the only one that was afraid. I don't think nobody gave her the playbook. She looked like she was the only one that, you know, actually was
thinking
doing
that
a
something
real
was,
reaction.
it was a real
to something
danger.
happen. Yeah.
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 But okay.
And here then Todd Blanche is asked, why wasn't there, why didn't you go through protocols regarding having a designated survivor not in the room? I mean, isn't that raising lots of red flags? Here's what Todd Blanche had to say. Let's play this clip right here.
So you must have attended past Correspondents Dinner. I mean, for over 50 years, they've been held at this hotel. Last night, it was extraordinary because we had the president, the vice president, the speaker of the House, the secretary of state, the secretary of defense, the secretary of the treasury, all in the same room. Those are 5 out of the top 6 leaders in that line of succession for this country should something have actually happened to the president himself. Was there planning for that? I mean, when we have the State of the Union, there's a designated survivor. Was there an increased concern about gathering all of our leadership in that room last night?
We will not stop doing things like we did last night in this administration. And this man, if one of his goals was to get us to be scared, he failed. And let me make clear that you're right. All those folks were in the room and more. And yet we were all safe. Law enforcement did their jobs. And so President Trump said last night, and he means it, and I very much agree with him, that this type of conduct will not deter him. It will not stop him from living. It will not stop him from doing his job. And that is not only him, but the vice president, the cabinet, the law enforcement, you all, journalists, you're not going to stop doing your jobs either because of this lone man that did what he did. And so this is
damn.
Okay, I get it now. They all risk their life. They're risking. All of them are risking their lives for us, y'all.
Oh,
that's what they saying. You don't hear that? He said the cabinet, Trump, everybody, J.D. Vance, everybody risking their lives for us. They don't mind. They're not gonna stop living their lives.
Yeah, they're not gonna stop risking their lives either.
Mm-hmm.
It's for us. Okay.
Okay, Todd Blanche. Now this the same one. Remember when Trump said he won the 2020 election and he went to court 64 times and lost, 62 times and lost?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the guy that was representing him? Todd Blanche.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Is something that we all are still reacting to because it's fresh. But I assure you that the types of things that you saw last night and the president being out there and available to the American public, that will not change because of what this guy tried to do last night.
Well,
folks, when I think about this incident last night and I think about how immediately the media was reporting the Trump regime narratives, oh, this is about unity and sympathy and we need to come together and rally together. And even if things are looking bad, how courageous. There's nothing. Let me be very clear. If you want me to say anything that Donald Trump or his regime did last night was courageous, you're watching the wrong media network, okay? Nothing is going to change my criticism of his policies, of his regime, so long as those policies are harming and killing the American people. That's what we should focus on. This entire event from the outset was a complete farce. Some black tie event with no comedian even mocking the president, where the media would be basically celebrating Donald Trump destroying the First Amendment. The whole concept of this event to me was disgusting in the first place. So no, you're not going to get any, oh, I'm so sorry about what. No, just stop it. it. Stop it. We're going to be very critical of the facts, what happened, and we're going to report honestly and truthfully right here. You know, you think about what MAGA's also focused on right now, how they want to also, use this to go after their enemies, Elon Omar or whatever. I just noticed all of a sudden there's a lot of right-wing articles about a winery tied to Elon Omar's husband is closing as Congress probes her finances. Oh, really? Elon Omar's husband and her finances. I mean, Donald Trump and his family have taken literally billions and billions of dollars in quid pro quos in the most disgusting way. But this is what right-wing media is focused on right now this weekend as well. I mean, it's so despicable as well when I even saw that was a major topic on right-wing media. And it's why I use Ground News. Because they're the best tool for me to not just stay objective in my reporting, but I want to see what's being reported on the right wing, on the left wing, in the...
Baby, being threw that in there so slick.
What?
Ground News commercial. You didn't even catch it, did you? You talking about what? He's talking about Ground News, and that's one of his sponsors.
Oh, yeah, his sponsor. I saw how he threw that in there.
Yeah, he threw that in
and
there.
And that's why I use Ground News. Because, I saw that. I caught on to that.
Yeah, we see you working, dog. We see you.
Mm-hmm.
But, MAGA's always got something. They always try to find something to complain about, And so the Democrats are not supposed to be able to do anything. Elon, what's her name? Omar Elon or Elon Omar?
Mm-hmm.
Trump's been targeting her since she's been in office because she's a Somalian. And so remember when he was raging about the Somalians last month about fraud. And so anything that she does, MAGA gonna pay attention to it because he's actually put her on the radar for MAGA. The people he want on the radar, he'll start talking to them and call them out by name because he already knows that's kind of like red meat for his face. Yeah. And so he does that. He demonizes people so that he can use them, talk about them and give MAGA something to talk about.
Against them.
Yeah, so MAGA can go against them, exactly. So.
Well. No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Called center, right? That's why I partner with Ground News every episode. They're the best tool for me in doing this reporting. It's an app and a website that pulls in thousands of articles from around the world and organizes them by story to show you how's the left, how's the center, how's the right framing stories differently. What are they prioritizing in terms of their coverage? For every story, the color-coded layout makes it easy to see the political bias of each source. I can filter for high factuality sources and see which sources are independently owned by a large media conglomerate with corporate interests. This lets you compare reporting on the same issue in one place so you can come to your own conclusion based on all the facts. On this article, for example, I saw that it was just right-wing media covering it and pushing it. So if you're reading right-wing news, you think this is like the biggest story, but it's just in your own echo chamber. And by the way, if you're reading left-wing media only, you have no clue that this is what they're talking about this weekend, where you're like, I have a blind spot to what's even going on over there, which is why Ground News even has a dedicated blind spot feed, a personal favorite of mine, which highlights stories being disproportionately covered on either side of the political aisle to help burst through echo chambers. Because I believe in Ground News so much, we're offering 40% off the same Vantage plan that I use for my research here. So just go click the link in the description or go to ground.news/MTN or scan the QR code up here. It's one of the biggest discounts they've ever offered. Ground.news/MTN. If you want to support the channel and get a clearer understanding of the world, try out Ground News. I want to get back to my coverage now as well, where on state regime media, you had Peter Doocy saying, because of this incident, Donald Trump may need to wear a bulletproof vest wherever he goes now. Here, play this clip.
That there are discussions underway at the White House about whether or not President Trump is going to have to start wearing a bulletproof vest for future events in public. Jackie.
Peter, thank you so much.
Then you had Todd Blanche saying, the way we respond to incidents like this, we can't.
If you ask me, if he start wearing anything, it ain't going to be just because a bulletproof vest. It's probably because you see his posture. That man be slumped all the way over when he walking. He might have a bad back.
Is they gonna put a helmet on him too?
He may have a bad back though. He may have, he may have to put a brace on because his health is just completely deteriorating.
Yeah, he couldn't even make it out that room. Hey, Victor DeVale, thank you for joining us tonight.
What's
but
up, Victor DeVale?
he couldn't make it out that room. Vicky want to know, can he even fit a vest? I think he's gonna need a helmet too, though. Because a bulletproof vest is only gonna cover your body. What is it gonna do for his head?
That's what people be aiming at the most, right?
Well, that's where they got Kennedy at. So I don't know.
He got his ear nicked off, so maybe he do need to cover that head.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well,
are they gonna put a bulletproof?
But his defense would be that he is superhuman and his limbs grow back if they get shot off. Because just like that ear, they say a piece of his ear got nicked off and it grew back miraculously to where you don't even see that he ever had anything on there. So yeah. So,
well, he's the Messiah, so
Right. He's
he got magical powers. Like I don't think y'all understand.
yeah. So he probably don't need it. He God. He the Savior. All right, let's keep playing.
Hide in a bunker. We gotta be strong right now. First off, y'all are building the bunker. This golden ballroom thing you're talking about is, Donald Trump said, it's all about the bunker underneath. And, what are we even talking? The individual barely breached the security perimeter and was actually nowhere near the ballroom. And you're all trying to act like Donald Trump did something courageous. He did not do anything courageous. His regime.
In fact, he fell on his face when they was trying to fucking rush him out. Fucking clumsy ass imbecile.
Did not do anything courageous. This entire event from the outset was a ridiculous event in light of the regime attacking the First Amendment. And I'm not going to move away from that position right now while the media tries to act like, oh my God, can you believe this? I guess we shouldn't focus on the fact that Donald Trump we're still in a catastrophic war in Iran. And Donald Trump manipulates the markets every day. Anyway, here, play this clip.
On the one hand, we take those threats very seriously, always have, and we always will. On the other hand, we do not, the way we respond to those threats is not to go into a bunker and hide. It's to trust the law enforcement that are keeping us safe. And that's what happened last night. And that's what I think we will continue to see going forward.
But folks, what the media is also focused on is King Charles still coming this week? Because corporate news, that's the big deal. The king is coming to the United States. The king, everybody, yay. And we're going to do a royal welcome here because people who can't even afford their freaking groceries right now and who can't afford gas and who can't pay their rent, they're like, oh my gosh, is the king coming? Are we going to build more golden ballrooms? Are we going to build a horse and chariot for what are we even talking about here? The American people are suffering. This whole media ecosystem is the complete rot. No wonder they love Trump so much, the corporate news. They're all just a rotten bunch, aren't they? Here, play this clip.
Everything in place for the visit of King Charles this week?
Sorry, can you repeat that, George?
Is everything in place for the visit of King Charles this week?
He didn't even answer the question. Wow.
Yeah, so look, I think that we expect that the suspect will be charged tomorrow morning in federal court with 2 counts, assault of a federal officer and use of a firearm during a crime of violence. We're going to continue to investigate and it'll just be a complaint tomorrow. An indictment will be coming in the coming days or weeks and go from there.
Finally, this is the third.
And I mean, at least you had Ro Khanna going on networks this morning and at least forcefully pushing back. Let's play this clip right here.
You've supported several unsuccessful resolutions to limit President Trump's war powers in Iran. Do you think President Trump will be able to secure congressional authorization for this war?
No, Christian, let me be clear. We need to end this war. Americans are struggling. Gas prices are up, food prices are up, housing costs are up. The reason those prices are up is because the Strait of Hormuz is closed and because of this war. It's caused devastation for working families. The president ran saying that he would bring prices down. Prices are up in his administration. And the way most Americans want this war to end, even 54% of Republicans believe we need negotiation to end the war. The Pope is saying end the war. Americans agree with the Pope. We need a negotiated settlement, and this war needs to end.
And I'll remind you all again.
They don't want to vote on the war because at the end of the day, Republicans are not pushing back because they don't want to be on record saying that they agree with the war or they disagree because, they looking at all this politically because, Trump's supposed to get permission to have war. Can't just go to war because he want to. Well, I guess he can because he did, but technically he's not supposed to. And he's hey, Vaughn, thank you for joining us. And he only have a certain amount of time, and then he's going to have to get authorization from Congress. And I believe the time is coming up.
Well,
that when.
So I feel like that's why a lot of this stuff, some of this stuff is going on also. Everything has a cause and a distant effect with Agent Orange. Because he never can get things right, it's always like he couldn't even run out the room right without falling.
Right.
To his own safety. So.
Well, he is 80-some years old, so.
But they said he was strong and in shape and he had a great mind.
Yeah, he had the body of a 25-year-old football player, I thought.
Yeah, that's what Caroline Levitt said, so.
And yesterday started, Donald Trump was trying to justify why he was no longer sending Witkoff and Kushner to speak with the Pakistanis and to go to Islamabad like he promised on Friday when he propped up the market and said there was going to be a major meeting in Pakistan. Here, play this clip.
Yesterday you said to Reuters that we're dealing with who is in charge now. What changed from yesterday to today?
Nothing. It's just that they gave us a paper that should have been better. And interestingly, immediately when I canceled it, within 10 minutes we got a new paper that was much better.
What was on that paper, sir?
We talked about they will not have a nuclear weapon. Very simple.
Sorry about that. My mic was muted, but he talks at such a third grade level that is embarrassing.
Yeah.
They sent us one paper. We sent it back and they sent us in 15 minutes a better paper.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Like, I guess.
They sent that paper so he could set up the next lie.
You're right. But it's just the way that he describes a paper. Instead of telling us the document name or, you know what I'm saying? It's just a paper.
Well, I thought it was a deal or an agreement or something, or
just a paper.
I didn't know it was just a piece of paper.
They sent us a paper, and then they sent us a better paper. We sent the paper back. They sent us a.
Normally, ain't them papers called like a treaty or a deal. I thought those papers had a name, a technical name.
Just paper. Just in his mind.
Just a paper, but just a piece of paper. Huh? They sent the paper. They faxed it over, I guess, huh?
That's our president. Y'all president.
Look, that whole deal is not complicated. Iran could not have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. Ceasefire remaining.
While all of this is going on, what we should be focused on, what we should be paying attention to, the massive energy crisis taking place in Asia. It's very reminiscent of when we saw what was going on in COVID in Asia, and then it spread, and it started going to Europe, and then it reached the United States. Do you remember that? Let me just share with you what's going on in Japan right now. One of the major things on Japanese television right now, as Javier Blaise explains, is the first oil tanker bringing crude oil to Japan, because the energy crisis is that significant that they're focusing on, as he says, Asia is truly short of crude oil when Japanese television covers the arrival of a single oil tanker as a major news story right here. Here, play this clip.
こちらアメリカから来たタンカーです。中東から来る大型タンカーに比べると少し小さく細めの船となっています。
And also what was going on yesterday as well. Lots of reporting on the Epstein files before this White House Correspondents Dinner. The fact that Republicans were working with Donald Trump to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. The survivors were all in Washington, D.C. to bring attention to this massive cover-up of the child sex trafficking ring. We learned more about the despicable conditions on our naval ships that our soldiers are forced to endure right now. We got you these photos from Newsweek from the USS Abraham Lincoln showing service members receiving minimal food portions as reports grow that some troops have lost significant weight because they're not even being fed. They're not even being fed anymore. I mean, so utterly horrific. And I'll just share this video with you too. This was after the incident took place at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where FBI Director Kash Patel was on his phone, just hanging outside the venue like a random White House Correspondents' Dinner attendee, finding was he trying to get an Uber or something? Here, let's just take a look at this.
Do you guys have any idea what happened in there?
I know. Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry. In my opinion, and allegedly, Cash might have been trying to get him a date. That's why because if he's the AG, right? I mean, isn't he the AG or
the director of the FBI or something?
I thought it was the FBI.
Yeah. Okay.
So shouldn't he have his own vehicle? Shouldn't somebody come pick him up without him having to call anybody? Shouldn't he have like an earpiece in his ear and say, "Hey, come get me. We just had an emergency," I
guess, but no, maybe not.
So the FBI director can just hang out outside.
He said he's a regular person. He can go to the hockey game and beer bong. He is a regular person.
Living his best life.
Living his best life as the FBI director. Doing things he would have never done in his personal life. So let that man live off the taxpayer dollars.
Well, I just thought it was kind of weird for the FBI director not to have a ride. That's just weird to me.
Well, he said he was with Trump. He said, "Shit, I'm with Trump. I'm with the president, the VP. I'm good."
Yeah, but he's a cabinet member. He should have a ride. I mean, the head of the FBI, everybody else may not have a vehicle, but even city workers have rides. The lady that do the meter in the city have a car.
Right.
So shouldn't that's my whole point. Shouldn't the FBI director have one too?
He be taking personal jets and stuff with Secret Service agents for his wife and stuff. You would think he'd at least be able to have a car that he can call.
But see, I don't think you putting the picture together, dog. Listen, they just had an assassination attempt. Shouldn't everything be in a hurry? Shouldn't the FBI car be? I mean, as soon as he walked outside, it should have been a black limousine.
What
pick
you
him up
saying
and
is
whip
that
him
they was
away.
hoping that
and whip him away.
So you saying that they was trying to let it just to make sure that nobody came back and wanted to actually finish the job successfully and stuff. They was trying to hold him there for a little while.
I don't know, but I just think it's weird for the FBI to hang around a crime scene. And he's the director. He got field employees for that. He is in the cabinet, and so most of the time in a certain situation that's this imminent and that's a threat, all the dignitaries, the terrorists are going to be gone. They're going to be whipped away quickly. Secret Service is going to get them away from the scene as quick as possible. Especially if he need to go back, they need to go back and make a plan, or you never know. You know what I mean?
Right.
He need to go to the office, get on the computer, find out what's going on, try to get all the information from the guy. And I'm just saying, nobody is.
You mean like the movies, like you would see somebody with their little headpiece. They'll tap on their ear and they'll say.
Now I'm saying like it was when Reagan got shot in the leg. Everybody jumped into action, and everybody was whipped away. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And we ain't even talking about the movies. We've had this happen before. And all I'm saying is there's no sense of urgency for this to be such an important, event. There's no sense of urgency on nobody's part in my mind, because he should have had a car right there to pick him up and take him back to headquarters.
So what you saying is they knew nothing was about to really happen. They knew that shit was staged. They knew that shit, there was no imminent
for them
threat.
to be happy and smiling after the fact, it don't look like it was that much of. It don't look like they had a threat that night. It looked like they had
It looked like this brought everybody together more than it did to scare anyone or.
I expect high school students to act this way if they were at a party and some pow going on and they secure the threat. Okay, kids gonna continue to party. Maybe they may be scared or whatever, but for them to try to continue with this event, and like I said, no sense of urgency from anybody, in my opinion. No seriousness and no sense of urgency at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think this is pretty much the end of this video. Y'all, let's look at it. Just says a palate cleanser. Before we go into the next video, let's look at this cute little boy try to emulate Donald Trump. I thought it was just the cutest thing.
Yeah, this little boy's funny.
Tanner, can you do Donald Trump? Go ahead.
Look how he's flapping his hands just
Yeah. Look just like the young Donald Trump. They should make a movie and have him be the
baby Trump
version of Trump.
And don't give him no lines. Just let him improvise. He'll figure it out.
Tanner, can you do Donald Trump? Go ahead.
The way he just completely changed his face to make himself look like a fool.
Yeah, even a baby making fun of him.
Right.
How about that?
Well, guys, let's look at this debate. Like I said, we are going to talk about the Jubilee debate. If you don't know what Jubilee is, look it up. And they're a YouTube channel that does like one person against 20 different people who have an opposing view. In this one, it's one Israeli, I guess someone who promotes Israel against other people who think that Israel is, wreaking havoc in the Middle East. So we're gonna watch it and we're gonna discuss it. Should be interesting if y'all watch stuff.
Took the words right out of my mouth. They should be interesting.
Historical connection and indigeneity alone trumps whatever people are already there. Then all modern borders. It does not trump other people. It just trumps. What you're saying.
I'm saying it trumps the idea that we're colonizers and foreign.
Okay,
if you would like to be the first debater, please get to the chair in 3. Attacked Israel, killing over 1,200 innocent people and taking hundreds of hostages. The war that followed has devastated Gaza, killing over 70,000 Palestinians. Peace now rests on a ceasefire that many believe will not hold. So where do we go from here? From Jubilee Media, this is Surrounded, where one brave soul faces a room full of disagreeers. I'm your host, John Regalado, and today we are facing the divide head on. I'm here in the center with our featured guest, Rudy. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for being here. Are you ready to jump into the debates?
Always ready.
Rudy, that don't sound like no damn Israel name.
All right, let's get into it.
I'm Rudy Rockman. I'm a Jewish and Israel rights activist, and today I'm surrounded by 20 pro-Palestinian activists who completely disagree with me. My first surrounded claim is that Israel is not committing apartheid or genocide.
All right, if you would like to be the first debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
How's it going? Good, how are you?
So, before I start, I want to lay some groundwork. I want to start with a working definition of genocide, some legal and historical examples, and then I want to demonstrate Israel's intent, their policies of genocide, and then the results. So in terms of a working definition of genocide, it would be to destroy, with the intent to destroy a group in whole or in part. Some historical legal analogies that I think are analogous to the case of Gaza is the case in Bosnia, where the Bosnian Serb army killed 8,000 men and boys. This was ruled to be a genocide by the ICJ. Another 30,000 women and children were forced to flee. This was done so to facilitate an ethnic cleansing. So murder under the laws of war to motivate a population to be ethnically cleansed. In terms of Israel's intent, Benjamin Netanyahu said it plainly and clearly last year under testimony with the Foreign Affairs Committee of the Knesset. He said, we're destroying more and more houses. Sooner or later, they'll have nothing to go back to. Our problem right now is just finding a country that's going to take the Palestinian refugees. So they're murdering Palestinians in Gaza en masse to attempt to bring about the demise of the Gaza population, create conditions unfit for human existence by decimating civilian infrastructure, etc. Now, in terms of a policy, we can look to the Where's Daddy program that's being used by Israeli intelligence through a Lavender AI system where they spot what they suspect to be low-level Hamas operatives, bomb them when they're at home with their family. So you can't claim Hamas is using Palestinians as human shields when most of what Israel is actually doing is targeting who they suspect to be low-level Hamas operatives when they're with their family. This is backed up by the demographic data. Reuters pointed to the fact that over 1,300 families' bloodlines have been wiped out in Gaza. Sometimes as much as 4 generations of Palestinian families are being wiped out. Sometimes as large as 14 members of a Palestinian family is being wiped out. So again, we have policy, and then we look to the effects. 65 doctors wrote in the New York Times in a guest opinion essay, doctors that are observing in Gaza, they're participating, they're volunteering in Gaza. We don't have international journalists in Gaza, so the extent to which our international testimonies are often from these doctors, paramedics, and nurses. What they described.
So let me
Sure,
answer.
sure.
You said a lot of things.
Yeah,
right?
sure, go for it.
So first of all, I'm against the murder of any individual person living in Gaza. I see Palestinians as my family, as my cousins. If I see another individual who's, let's say, from America or a Palestinian, I will automatically feel more connected to a Palestinian. We have mostly the same ancestry. We're connected to the same land, and our descendants will be eternally connected to one another. So whenever I see a Palestinian innocent life taken, that is a horrible tragedy. But you got something wrong from the very beginning. That genocide is the intent to eliminate a population. Now, you might not be successful.
So,
they were not successful in many cases with Nazi Germany, with the Armenians, but it was the intent to try to eliminate the population. Now,
so can I ask you then, do you think that the Bosnian Serb army did not commit genocide in Serbia?
I think if the intent was to eliminate the entire population, then it would be a genocide. If the intent is to kill a lot of people in order to do ethnic cleansing, which is another thing, which is also problematic, okay? But
so you're saying it's ethnic cleansing, not genocide?
No, I'm not saying what's going on is ethnic cleansing. I'm saying that there are individual politicians who support the idea of removing Palestinians.
I'm not talking about individual politicians. I'm talking about Benjamin Netanyahu,
which would be ethnic cleansing, and I'm against that.
And you agree that the quote I cited earlier would be the intent for ethnic cleansing, right?
The way that you sourced it would be, but I don't think that that's actually what he said.
That's from Times of Israel.
We should fact check it and see the whole entire context.
Okay, yeah,
if we find
Times of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu quote.
If we find that Bibi Netanyahu has the intent to remove all the Palestinians from Gaza, I am against it.
And you would say that's ethnic cleansing?
That would be ethnic cleansing.
Okay, great. So we can source that. Amazing.
Now that we're agreeing that there's a difference between ethnic cleansing and genocide, and that I'm against both, let's talk about the claim of it being genocide. Now, when we look at 2.2 million people living in Gaza, and max number is 70,000 by Hamas records, which we know Hamas is constantly lying of how many people are dying. For 70,000 people to have died, also this is in the past 2 years, there are 5,000 people who are dying from natural causes every year, which is also included. The Hamas number,
the natural causes are not included. That's false. If natural causes were included, you would see excess death among youth and among elderly. You don't see that with the demographic data. The demographic data is actually directly from Hamas.
Okay. According to this fact check, it's been 72,000 people so far. So that's way more than 5,000 people.
But he say that even with, if you once he finished his point that he's going to try to make is that 70,000 people isn't that many compared to 2.2 million, so it's not a genocide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was going to, we can talk about it when he say that, because that's the crazy part.
Israeli airstrikes.
No, it's directly from Hamas.
It's the Gaza Ministry of Health, which has been reliable.
Which is Hamas.
Okay, they've been reliable in every other armed
that
conflict.
Seeks to kill civilians is giving you your
Let me
information.
ask you this: why doesn't the Israeli military, if the Israeli military was operating under the laws of war, they would know how many Palestinian civilians have died. Why don't they
being killed? Only 70,000 to the max number. That is a small amount of people and very clearly not a genocide.
Rudy, we've got flags up. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return.
Yeah, I heard what he said. I heard it. Yeah, he tried to hurry up and put that in there. Well, why you didn't lead with that?
Right. That's a small portion of the people, and clearly not a
70,000 people small, huh?
Yeah, and clearly not a genocide. That's crazy. Right. But this next man, he caught on to it.
Yeah, look how you looking at it.
The next person, this man right here.
Hello.
Well, I was just looking at the audience on how they were looking at it.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Manishmacha.
Hashem, are you? Alhamdulillah.
Very good. For a moment, I wanted to believe that you really wanted peace. For a moment, I really almost believed that you wanted the Palestinians to go back to Palestine. But then when you ridiculed and you belittled 70,000 deaths, and you're saying that's just a small percentage for 1.2 million, that is outrageous.
That is not what I said.
That's what I've heard you saying.
No, what I said is it's not a genocide, because if it was a genocide, we'd see the intent and the actual murder of a lot of people. And I started with one person dying. That's Palestinian is horrible. Okay, so remember everything that I said. Palestinians are my family. If any Palestinian dies, that's horrible.
See, what we are seeing right now, what we're seeing right now is, and I hope I'm wrong, is a great act. Sadly, we've seen the president and the Benjamin Netanyahu going out and saying we have to buy social media, we have to influence influencers, we have to work on the young Americans and young Westerners so we can win the battle of the public opinion. Unfortunately, that's what I'm seeing right now. You having this soft attitude while serving in the Israeli army while people were getting killed. I'm a Palestinian. I'm not an anti-Semite. I'm a Semite. I'm not anti-Jewish. I have so many Jewish friends. But as long as it's legal, I'm going to go out and say every day I'm anti-Zionism because I'm anti-apartheid, anti-genocide, anti-ethnic cleansing. You know, the people here are labeled today as pro-Palestinians, as if it's something it's given. We're not just pro-Palestinian because Palestinians, we're pro-equality, justice, we're anti-racism. If Jewish people are going through the same, we will be pro-Jewish people as well. Trust me.
So do you condemn the attacks of Jews all around the world, including by Palestinians?
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Any innocent person that's been attacked without a justified reason, my faith tells me I have to condemn it.
What is a justified reason?
If they're not trying to kill you, if they're not trying to fight you.
If a Palestinian blows up a bus, is that justified?
You cannot put this
I'm just
out of
asking
context.
because you said
Absolutely.
justified.
No, when I say when you served in the army.
Yeah, but can you answer that real quick?
Absolutely, I can answer that.
Can you condemn that?
Absolutely, I'm telling you, I condemn the killing of any innocent soul. That's my faith is telling me to do.
Thank you.
All right. So now when you are trying to say that I am trying to promote peace and justice, why don't you join a movement like Breaking the Silence? Have you heard about them?
Of course I heard about them.
So why don't you join them? Please.
So Breaking the Silence is an organization that takes some truths, adds on a lot of lies, and does everything in order to be tokens as Jews and as former soldiers who get paid by foreign entities. Well, there's a new movement of people who aren't the tokens on either side. There's individual Palestinians who are tokens as well, who will sell whatever the Israeli government wants.
So I don't like that word token.
Right.
Because that's used against us as well. And this guy, he has a very slick mouth, and he's acting like he is trying to spew some good and truth. But in actuality, he act like he have PTSD. What do you think? He was in the service
I think he's been
Israel.
trained very well. I think it's not necessarily PTSD. I think it's his training after probably the war to be able to go out and do these type of debates in a public forum. They probably spent a lot of money and a lot of time making sure that he's properly trained.
Yeah.
Of individuals who are proud and who are strong and who want to see a future where there are people coming together. You said you're not an anti-Semite, but you're an anti-Zionist. Does that mean that you're against the idea that people have a right to live in this land?
I'm against the idea of what Zionism is doing.
No,
what
so Zionism is
listen,
an idea.
You know who else?
I'm asking, are you against the idea that the Jewish people have a right to self-determine on their ancestral homeland?
I don't. You know who else did not have that problem? I don't. I just told you.
Okay,
you know who
so
else?
You're not an anti-Zionist.
You know
you're
who
an
else?
anti the current conflict and
you know
everything
who else?
that happened.
You know who else did not have a problem with Jewish people coming to Palestine?
A lot of Palestinians.
A lot of Palestinians.
Amazing.
They opened their doors.
And I don't
they
have a
opened their
problem with
homes.
Palestinians
Look
being
it
able
up.
to come
Muhammad
home.
Hadid, the father of Bella and Gigi Hadid. What is his story? His family opened their doors, their homes for a Jewish family, only to come back and say, you know what, this is our house now. You cannot come back again.
You won't see me condemning Palestinians as a whole. You won't see me trying to delegitimize or to demonize Palestinians.
You kept calling it Yehuda and Samaria. You don't even call it Palestine.
Historically, that region is Judea
and Samaria. The way
Samaria.
Palestinians were kicked out of their homes. The way a genocide.
And Jews were kicked out.
The way a genocide happened in Deir Yassin. Do you know what Deir Yassin is?
Yes, of course I know.
You know what happened in Deir Yassin?
I know
that's a genocide.
A genocide would be the intent, okay, for a population to eliminate another
that's what
population.
happened.
What you had in 1948
Rudy,
is a
we wanna
conflict
hear-
between two peoples where people got kicked out on both sides,
Rudy,
and I'm
we-
against that.
We also want to hear from him.
Of course.
So you know the problem with the claim that Palestinians
Damn,
left by
yeah.
themselves, they fled.
I didn't make that claim.
That's ridiculous
won't
when
let
people
it
say
go.
that. You know
Right.
what, the government that you're supporting, the
I'm not
army that you're
supporting the government.
defending, that is what they're saying. They're saying Palestinians left by themselves.
Some people say that. Some people don't say that.
Believe me, that a lot of people are saying
Yeah,
that.
there are Palestinians who chose to leave, and there are many Palestinians that were forcibly displaced. There's more nuance we need to add to the conversation. But there are also many Jewish villages that were displaced as well.
That's.
You know who he sound like?
Who?
Charlie Kirk. That's how Charlie Kirk used to debate people.
Yeah.
They be talking, and he'll just continue to talk and spew out whatever he was spewing out or whatever. But he act just like Charlie Kirk about.
He keeps demanding respect when he's talking, and like you
Mhm.
can't talk over him. But every time
Yeah.
they talk, he never showed them the respect to let them just finish their point.
Definitely want to interrupt them
Mm-hmm.
so they can get
That's
their
not
point across.
what happened.
That
Reality.
is what happened.
No,
Why were there no more Jews
the
in Jerusalem
Haganah
or in
and the
Hebron?
Argon? These are the militias, the terrorist militias that killed so many Palestinians. Those need to be read what happened in Deir Yassin.
Yes, I know what happened in Deir Yassin, and I know what happened in many other communities of Palestinians, and I'm for Palestinians
now
to be
in
able
Gaza.
to reunite with Israel. But you're looking at individuals that are in the context of a war and then blaming it on the whole idea of our whole collective having rights to this
See,
land.
the thing is that you
I'm
cannot
not-
just, if Trump says, I'm not anti-immigrants, we don't believe him. We look at what happened
Let's
in
not
the
bring
streets.
Trump into the situation.
See,
It has nothing to
you
do.
have to look at what's happening on the
Bringing in
ground.
foreign
You have to look at what's
Western
happening in
white
Gaza.
people
You have to look.
our civilization is why we're in a
saying
problem.
that Gazans were given warning to leave their homes before
This
they
is
get
true.
bombed.
This is true.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've heard.
Well, I was in Gaza and I saw this
Everybody.
happening with my own eyes.
I'm just shocked that you're defending that
It's
again
not
and again.
defending, it's actually what happened. Does that
And
mean
what you're saying, it's okay?
No, it's not okay that we were in war. But
No, it's
absolutely-
okay to say to someone, hey, I'm bombing your house tomorrow. Get out of here.
So let's add some context. If Hamas is shooting rockets from
So that is crazy. The fact that they think that Israel thinks that because they sent out a mass text message or they drop down some
A huge
notice-
PSA, basically, is what they did.
right to tell you to get the fuck out because we about to bomb all this shit.
Right.
And
In one day.
that's supposed to be okay. Like he's supposed to say, okay, well let me just pack up my whole entire life
Right.
and get the fuck out.
And go
So
where?
I can oblige. They have nowhere to go, and then I can oblige y'all in destroying my community and my home.
Right.
I have nowhere to go. Like that's what are y'all talking about? Because in no scenario is that like the diplomatic or the right thing to do, even if you're just looking at this from a moral standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
a house. That also
This
Palestinian
is-
families
this is
are
the
living there.
propaganda that the
that's not
Israelis
propaganda.
push.
This
Trust
is you
me.
saying propaganda to things I witnessed with my own eyes. Before I witnessed it, I saw proof. Now I witnessed it. You cannot tell me it's propaganda
it
because
is
you were not there
propaganda.
during the war in Gaza.
it's-
And
I've
inshallah,
been-
one day we will both be able to go back in Gaza. But during the war, you were not there. This is what happened. When Hamas is shooting rockets
They're
from a
like,
house
this
onto
man
Israeli
is-
civilians, targeting Israeli
This is
civilians,
a
and Israel
radical-
warns the Palestinians
the
living
war
there
did
to
not
leave.
start in
I don't
October
think
7th.
it started on October 7th.
75 years old.
And it didn't start in
old
1948
conflict.
either.
So the fact
But
that
it
you're
can
pushing
end tomorrow.
Palestinians, the fact that you're
I'm not
pushing
pushing
Palestinians,
anybody.
not you.
said
I'm
you.
not. I'm not about myself. I'm representing
You said you.
Palestine.
I'm not-
You're
I'm not
representing
taking it.
Israel. That's
Right.
We represent
Stop
those
trying to-
peoples.
trying
But
to-
don't say
Correct.
you. You can say
Exactly.
they
So-
are or Israel
no,
is.
you're saying
If
you
something
motherfucker-
bad is
cannot come
happening
and say
by
I'm
can't go
defending
to-
a movement. I'm defending an ideology.
And see, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. No, I'm going to refer to you because I'm talking to your dumb ass, and you are apparently the representative of Israel. So I'm talking to you. Don't try to, and don't cut me off anymore. If I say you, take it. Shut the fuck up and listen to my point, and then you respond. But don't tell me how to address you if I'm, in the middle of my point. No, you. Oh, did I just push that all the way back? My bad, y'all.
It's obviously related to Israel, and the PLO were very much so involved during that war.
The war did not start in
I don't think it started on October
75 years old.
And it didn't start in 1948 either.
So the fact that you're pushing Palestinians,
I'm not pushing anybody.
Not you. I'm not talking about myself. I'm representing Palestine. You're representing Israel.
We represent those peoples, but don't say you. You can say they are or Israel is. If something bad is happening by a Palestinian,
I'm defending a movement. I'm defending an ideology, and then
if you are for the Palestinians, I'm not seeing you as Hamas. Okay, I'm seeing you as a doctor in front of me, as my cousin in front of me, that has a connection to this land, and we need to be able to build together moving forward.
I would love to believe this, but the reality doesn't give me a chance to believe what's happening.
Well, the younger generation has still hearts that's not so darkened, and we will be able to build something better.
And then we have to pause here. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Well, bingo, we figured out what. Hold on, let me pause it. We figured out what it is that, like you said, they're trying to infiltrate the younger generation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu is acting like thugs. For real. Trump done took Venezuela, say going to Cuba. Both of them attacking Iran, and Bibi attacks
Lebanon
Gaza.
and Gaza.
Oh yeah, so both of them got two of them under their belt. I forgot all about Lebanon. So yeah, they just acting like some country thugs, like they're gonna just go and colonize people's land and
the whole world, yeah.
In the whole wide world. What the hell?
They into this together, like they just go. You take that side, I take this side. And
you take this side of the world, I take this side of the world, and then we're gonna meet in the middle. When we get to getting everybody, we're gonna meet in the middle with our shit.
Right.
Basically, is what they're saying. This is crazy.
How's it going? I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, I'm actually half Lebanese. And you probably can't tell. The reason is because my mom's from Taiwan, which explains why I look like Bruce Lee's gay son, but that's neither here nor there. The first time I was exposed to what Israel was capable of was the summer of 2006, the 33-day war in Lebanon. There was a firefight that took place between the southern border and northern border of Israel-Lebanon. Hezbollah snuck it over. They killed 8 IDF soldiers, kidnapped 2 of them, hoping that they would get 4 Lebanese prisoners in return. And how did Israel respond? They decided to blanketly carpet bomb the airport, highways, block the port, civilian infrastructure. One of those was my aunt's home. She's not a Hezbollah member. She doesn't live in a military base. And I also remember at that time, my cousins were vacationing in Lebanon, and they told me horror stories about how they were trapped in a basement as hellfire's raining on them. There was no electricity because Israel had bombed the power stations there. They had little water and fuel because Israel had shut off the water and fuel supply. Does this sound familiar? And not only that, they had a friend of theirs whose grandmother was being transported from the south to the north in an ambulance, a marked ambulance with the sirens blaring off to escape the bombing that was going on in the south. And it got blown up, it got attacked. The IDF denied that it happened. So in that war birthed what's known as the Dahiya Doctrine. Even the IDF general at the time, Eisenkot, had said, we will apply destructive force and it doesn't matter. Everything a civilian village is a military base. And this is what we're seeing today in Gaza is the Dahiya Doctrine on steroids. And there is intent to push them out. There wasn't genocide in Gaza because they weren't trying to push out the Lebanese out of Lebanon, but they are doing that in Palestine.
Okay. So even though this is not a conversation about Lebanon, we can talk about that as well because it's obviously related to Israel. And the PLO were very much so involved during that war, and along with Hezbollah and a lot of different issues that was happening on Lebanon. if you want to go into a country that you're about to go to war with, because Hezbollah is constantly shooting rockets onto Israel, attacking Israeli civilians, killing Israelis, so is the PLO with a lot of terrorism. Hold up.
What year?
If they're doing that at that time, okay, then the first thing you need to do is to remove the transportation capabilities of the other army, to remove the airports in order to be able to take out Hezbollah and to end the war. What you're all saying of the horrible stuff that happened, that I'm sorry you had any family member that passed away. Palestinians are my close cousins, but other Arabs are also my cousins. We both descend from Ibrahim, from Ishmael and Yitzhak, so we're all family in this region, and it's horrible what happens to war. The conversation we need to have now is what can we do to remove that and to stop us from happening? Because the consequences
You
of
can
us
stop
using
punishing the civilian population.
You said you,
Okay,
I'm
we
not
have to
you.
pause here. Their flags are up. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
They didn't give him that long, did they?
Nah, they.
Good, how are you?
Not bad. I want to talk about your claim, which is that Israel's not committing a genocide in Gaza. Earlier, during one of the previous debaters, you said that the definition of genocide was to eliminate a population. Is that still your definition?
Correct.
Okay, so you recognize that that is not the definition of genocide.
That is mostly the definition of genocide.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to know what the full definition of genocide is?
And you're going to say
It's
intent, right?
Yeah, of course, that's
Okay,
part
so-
of it.
so
But that's
exactly.
not the qualm I have. It's the intent to destroy a population in whole or in part. Okay, so you use the evidence of Israel not killing more Palestinians as evidence that it's not a genocide. But the Germans didn't kill every Jewish person. You agree that there was a genocide against the Jewish people,
The
not
intent
Nazi
of
Germany,
Israel
right?
was not to kill in parts the Palestinians
Okay.
either. That is why it's not a genocide,
And
not
what
in whole or in
evidence?
part.
And okay, what-
every action that Israel does is to prevent
Let
civilian
me just ask you a
casualties
question,
from being
okay?
killed.
How do you adjudicate whether a government intends to eliminate in part or in whole a population?
Right. So if every time that there's an attack against a Hamas site, not against a civilian area that doesn't have Hamas, but specifically a Hamas site that is shooting rockets onto Israeli civilians, and Israel does everything to warn the population there to leave by phone calls, by text messages, by leaflets, sometimes sent 72 hours before, we can see the intent here is to minimize civilian casualties.
And just to be clear,
so this is an example of what Israel
Right.
does in order to have civilians die
I
at
understand.
large or as part.
I understand. Just to be clear, the reason you're saying that is because if they didn't do this, which by the way, this is it's actually a funny standard that you give to Israel,
minimum
that if they
requirement.
drop leaflets before
Right.
bombing somebody, that they are
How about 3 days,
proactive and that they're
72
trying to
hours?
save civilian life. That's actually required by international law. So it's the bare minimum.
And-
I
and
just
it's
want to
a
make
proof
clear.
that
I just
they're
want to make
warning
clear.
people before
if
attacking.
they didn't do that, you would say that, well, clearly that's intent to kill civilians, right?
Not necessarily, but
okay.
it's...
So wait.
No,
so,
hold
so
on,
then
let
why
me
are you?
answer.
No, because
Even
that's
if
important.
there's a
because that-
fire...
It's like he gonna keep moving the goalposts because in his eyes, Israel can never do anything wrong. So if they wasn't, even if they wasn't sending the leaflets, he would say no. And the reason why the reason why that man framed it like that, because he know that Israel did not do the proper protocol when it comes as it relates to notifying the people for every strike that they did. So he would say, since you're trying to say that Israel's doing that, are you saying if they don't do that, then that's clearly intent? The reason why he's saying no right now is because he's trying to set himself up for if the man say, because Israel has been doing it, he has to move the goalposts, basically.
Yeah, he's been doing that throughout every conversation.
Right.
Fight, okay? And in the moment there's no ability to send leaflets or warning, and people get killed in the process, then there are situations where not warning doesn't make it a genocide. So here's an example when certain situations, I know that you're college and you're on the media and everything else, but I actually went to war. So there's certain situations that develop live where Hamas pops out of nowhere, starts shooting at IDF soldiers, there's a gunfight, there are people who are civilians who are killed, and that is not a genocide because they didn't warn. That's why not warning doesn't make it a genocide either.
This
If
is
the
not what I'm
intent
discussing.
is to kill people,
That's
then
not what I'm
it is a
discussing.
genocide.
I'm assuming that you're talking about when safe zones are bombed, when refugee camps are bombed, leaflets are
Safe
dropped,
zones were safe
which
before
shows
Hamas
that-
entered, and then they're no longer safe, correct?
Wait, which shows that Israel's not trying to commit a genocide, right? If you made that point that Israel is dropping leaflets, which shows that they're not intending to commit a genocide. Supposedly, if they didn't drop leaflets, that would be showing intent to commit a genocide.
False. I just explained why that's the case. There are situations that happen live.
Then your point. This is. I don't know how well versed you are in debate. That's called a fallacy of infallibility.
This is called projection.
If your position cannot be proven wrong, then it is an illegitimate argument to make.
I've proven how. No, you finish that point. No,
because this is important.
And I'm going to respond. Israel does everything that it can to prevent civilian casualties. That is a proof that shows that his intention is not to kill Palestinian civilians. Do Palestinian civilians get killed?
I'm going to give you an example.
No, I'm going to finish my point now.
No, you want to finish your point.
Of course,
you
I'm
want to finish your point because you've interrupted me and you don't want me to say
your claim. And now I'm going to.
Do you want to hear Al-Mawasi as an example of a refugee camp being bombed without leaflets being dropped? By your own standards.
By your own standards. By the world standards. By the world standards, they're not.
But he's saying all of that. But Benjamin Netanyahu is under. They got the ICC got an arrest warrant out for him for war crimes.
That's why he's trying to do this war so he can stay out of jail.
Yeah, just the criminal.
Both of them.
There's something most people don't think about until it's too late.
Against exception.
Let's do one more and then we'll be done with him because I'm about tired of this dude because, like you said, he's
have equality in this land.
Anti-Semitism. But here's the issue.
You're not criticizing.
Israel,
they have some good. All of them have some.
But the Igbos in Nigeria who are saying that.
But I think
conditions that it exists
and live criticize certain.
I think
speaking to me.
It was somebody else had a better argument.
Which is Jewish.
Well, they all came out with some good points.
Yes, they have the same rights. They have the same rights.
People who live.
We have to do more.
The majority.
I'm trying to see where she is.
My next surrounded claim is that Jews are indigenous in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Syria.
National law, you don't need to have
in Crete.
Put out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
I'm going to start off with saying if historical connection and indigenous roots legitimizes trumping sovereignty of nations, then modern borders are meaningless. And if it doesn't, then Zionism is a political movement. And we have evidence of this as Theodore Herzl himself is and was an atheist. We also have quotes coming from Ben-Gurion who said, we want to expel the Arabs. We also had other people who have referred to Arabs as rocks that needed to be moved throughout the land of Judea. I actually have the name of it right now, Weitzman. I also want to say that we wanted to look at the word of Palestine. I know you were mentioning that this came from the Romans. Actually, Herodotus, the father of history, mentioned Palestine 8 times. It actually comes from a Greek word describing the coast. So this isn't a term that came from the Romans of colonizing. And we actively see Zionism Palestine wasn't even the first option. Why did the Zionist Sixth Congress consider Uganda and Argentina? That is a colonial project.
Okay, so let me answer to those things because you said a lot of things. Herodotus that you're bringing up is a Greek person. The pre-Greek population in Crete were the Palestinians. So obviously the collective that is now the Greek Empire would like to call other territories as part of their territory and would call that land Palestine. But the moment that land really became called Palestine is the moment that the Romans conquered,
Syria,
I let you finish. Way after the Greek Empire is the Romans, and in order to insult the memory of the Jews, they called that name Palestine. Why? Because that's actually also a Hebrew word, which means invaders. Now, I don't consider you to be an invader, but you should know that Plishtim, Palestinian, literally in Hebrew, means invaders. Now, you talked about colonization, decolonization, indigenous populations. On the territory that was the indigenous population, being the Hebrews, the Jews, the Israelites, that was colonized by different empires, there was never a country that was built on top of it since. It was always in the hand of foreign empires until it was revived to being the land of Israel. Now, I do support indigenous liberations all across the world. The Tibetans, the Yazidis, the Kurds, the Aboriginals.
Okay.
Now, there's different types of indigenous liberations. Some populations want a state, some populations don't want a state.
So there was a sovereign state of Palestine.
There was not a sovereign state of Palestine. There was a British mandate of Palestine.
Okay, but there were still people who identified themselves as Palestinians.
Sure, I don't have a problem you identifying yourself as Palestinian.
So what I'm trying to say is that there were people
who cares if you have a problem with it or not,
you don't even need technically under international law, you don't need to have a sovereign state in order for it to qualify as occupation. An occupation can be imposed on people who are not a part of a sovereign state, but of a collective identity, who have had, as you said earlier, a continuous presence on that land. I think one of the other
Jews had a continuous presence.
and so did the Canaanites and the people who converted to. I don't want to get into that debate, but besides that, there are people who have been there continuously.
The Jews.
And actually, there is plenty of ways to go about this, but there is evidence that prior to 1948 and prior to the creation of the modern day state of Israel, that there's an incredible influx of people who have converted to Judaism. Yes, there is. It's actually from South Africa. Multiple people.
This is not
after
true.
the fall.
Please fact check.
They will fact check, and it's written in Haaretz that they after.
So you see an anti-Israel publication that posts an article. You read an article and you believe
I don't want to
everything
get
you said?
into. I don't want to get into ad hominem. Let's focus on
not
facts.
have any ad
And to
hominems
my
against you.
knowledge, it is true, and it has been documented pretty well that after the fall of a South African apartheid state, that people converted to Judaism and suddenly had a more legitimate claim.
The fall of the apartheid state happened way after the creation of the state of Israel. What are you talking about?
But I'm just saying that there's an influx of people that came and converted to the state.
No,
Anyways,
there are Jews who are returning home. There are not Jews who are converting
Okay,
in the
so why
masses
don't we
and
have the
returning home.
Palestinian right to return, right?
I'm for that right of return.
But how come it hasn't happened? And if we had a Palestinian majority, I don't think
that's a great question why it hasn't happened. The reason it hasn't happened is because my population and your population are raised to see each other as enemies. And when we have conversations, it's always the idea of Jewish indigeneity and our access to the land and our liberation means the destruction of yours. And I'm against the destruction of your people.
Okay.
I'm for the idea of your population returning home.
Zionism's earliest founders, and it has been documented, if they're all about, returning back home, why is every single one of their writing about colonialism? Yes, it is. You could look at
Herzl and other individuals spoke about creating a civilization with the other inhabitants
you didn't
who were living there.
recognize my point about Uganda and Argentina. If Palestine was not the only option, which goes to show that this is a colonial project because they considered other states despite not having as strong of a religious claim.
Thank you for reminding me the third claim that you made originally. So there were other options. It wasn't just Uganda. It was Argentina, Bilobijan, Angola, and Madagascar. And this is what the world offered to the Jews, not what the Jews wanted. The Jews always wanted to go to Jerusalem. That's why we pray towards Jerusalem. When we get married,
where does the name Jerusalem come from? Where does the name?
I'll answer that after. When we smash the glass in our weddings, right? I'm sure a lot of you have seen movies or have been to a Jewish wedding. It represents the destruction of Jerusalem and the promise that our kids will return back home and rebuild Jerusalem. Now, Uganda was proposed to the Jews by Herzl. He said, look, I know we're being killed right now in Europe and we're about to be killed even more. If we don't get to our land right now, at least we'll go to Uganda and then we'll go to Israel. And the Jews rejected that. This was imposed by other people, not by what we wanted.
So, but the British
Zion is in
people imposed the Balfour.
Jerusalem, which means
how entitled are the Jews at this point? But you getting off of land. We don't get off of no damn land.
Right.
Y'all get off of land and you like, hell no, we don't want that shit. We
sound
want
like some other
Jerusalem,
people I know.
bitch.
It sounds like some other people I know.
Right.
Okay. I'm just saying. It sounds real familiar. Hey, Candy Cane, thanks for joining us.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Candy.
Peace.
But, I don't like this dude. This dude is not giving anybody else an opportunity to talk. Every time they get ready to talk, he just interrupting them because he want to get all his little talking points out.
Yeah, he definitely don't represent great for the Israel. If you thought that Israel was a bad country and bad faith people, he definitely will reinforce that thought because he does everything, it seems, in bad faith.
Yeah, sound like he'll plant to me.
Actually, Uru means in the Canaanite language from, and then Shalim is the Canaanite god of dusk, and that name has been around for centuries, 6,000 years.
It's also Hebrew Yehu, you will see, and Shalem, Salom being peace.
Actually, the Hebrew language, Ben Yehuda, the father of modern day Hebrew language, actually took many words from Arabic to revive that language because it has been dead for so many years.
We were still using Hebrew, it was not dead.
Existence.
There was continuous
existence.
There was
Yiddish.
We started Talmud. No, that's the spoken language. There was Ladino, there was Judeo-Arabic.
Yes, there's multiple other ones.
There were other Creoles spoken day to day.
But there was no Hebrew,
we learned
and then
the Torah, we learned Talmud.
Okay,
all
then
of our
why did
texts
they
are in
have
Hebrew,
the JNF
to
Judify the landscape by planting non-indigenous trees all throughout Palestine?
So is Judifying planting something non-indigenous?
No. I'm saying this is according to the JNF. They Judified the landscape. They took committees to go around the Arabic villages of the names and give them Hebrew equivalent names, the same way Benjamin Netanyahu changed his last name from Milikowski to Netanyahu.
Because last names are 200 years old.
Oh, okay.
Last names are the past 200 years. We did not have last names before. It was your name, son of your father, and...
Yeah.
Hold him up. So this is BB done stole the name also. He's stealing everything else and he's stealing his name.
He done stole his name.
This is not his real name.
No, ma'am. He had to put a name on that allow him to fit in. So he can say he indigenous, I guess, because that's what they saying gives them the right.
And dude said, well, the name's just real old, so that's why he changed it.
Right. It's too young.
Well, I thought David was old, Matthew was old. All that's in the Bible. It's still people named those names, David and Matthew and Paul and Saul.
Right.
And, those are very old names. But people still
use them. They don't change their name.
Yeah, don't nobody get rid of a name just because it's old. So that's not a, that's not a great excuse, sir. But I'm gonna digress and let him finish.
Of your tribe, and there are other Middle Eastern peoples who have a very similar culture to that. Last name are new.
So why did he go from Milikowski to Netanyahu, and why did they change village names and give them Hebrew equivalent names with the modern Hebrew, which is from Arabic to
we revived the name of Israel. Like for example,
Nablus,
right? You know what Nablus comes from? It comes from.
See, this is the type of shit I'm talking about.
I thought he said he was you.
Yeah, but first off, if they say you did this, you're like, it's not me. It's not me. It's Israel. It's Israel. But now you talking about we did this. So what is it? Are you a part of it or are you not a part of it? Because you can't just pick and choose talking about, well, don't say you when you address. Nah, motherfucker. This is exactly why.
He making them be 100% correct. So he need to be 100% correct. So
right.
I agree. And he getting out of character also because she pissed in the mouth. So that's what's really going on.
She really exposed the shit that he don't
want us to know.
Polis, which is Greek and Latin, which means new city, right? That the Romans renamed Ar Shem, which was the indigenous name, to Neapolis. So when you have certain territories like Al-Quds going back to Jerusalem, which actually is called Jerusalem, or Safed going back to Tzfat, which is the original name, we're actually returning back to our language.
They actually hired a committee, and then I hope
that
Jubilee
your ancestors
it's
spoke.
Called,
they spoke
hold on.
Ivrit
They
and
actually
Hebrew,
they spoke Aramaic as well.
After Hebrew.
Okay, can I get to my
when
point
they went
first?
To Babylon.
Why would they hire a committee to Judify the names of the town if they had such a legitimate claim to it, and take the equivalent Arabic names and then give it? So you're saying that the Arabs
decolonize the name
Arabs,
of the land.
Are you saying that the Arabs are colonizers
right now? The Arabs
right now?
colonized the entire Middle East and North Africa.
So you're saying the Palestinians...
And you do not descend from the Arabs. You descend from the same family.
I would rather you not tell me. Okay, I would rather you not tell me where I come from.
Are you going to deny that?
No, I'm not going to. I just don't want to go into that. I'd rather focus on the facts.
Because all of a sudden
I'd rather
it means
focus
that
on
our
the facts. You're going into ad hominem instead of logical.
Ad hominem would be an attack. I'm not attacking you.
Let's focus right now. So we're talking about how they had specific committees to try
and
decolonize the names of the land.
Okay, so you're saying that the Palestinians who had lived there, because you're denying the Nakba right now, because the Palestinians lived and called these their homes. Tentura was a home. Okay,
I'm not denying
awesome.
The
I'm really glad that you're doing that. So Tentura and multiple other cities all throughout Palestine that the people resonated with when they were forcibly displaced, as you know, 750,000 of them. Why is it that they built cities on top of them and gave them Hebrew equivalent names to the Arab? I don't call that decolonization. That is textbook colonization and trying to legitimize whatever false claim that comes from Theodore Herzl and the entire rest of his group. Okay. And I'd also like to look at one more thing. I have one more thing.
One at a time.
Yafa,
please remember it.
They marketed Yafa as the land with no people for the people with no land. But this land was abundant with people, and Palestinians have consistently been present.
And
the Palestinian identity goes way back as well.
I believe you should have a right to live in this land. And if we look at what happened in 1948, there were Jewish villages and Palestinian villages that were destroyed. That is what happens during war. Now, all the Palestinian villages that were destroyed were Palestinian villages that sided with the other Arab armies from the surrounding nations around Israel that attacked Israel in 1948 to ethnically cleanse and destroy Israel, bringing all the Jews from the river and into the sea. There are many Jewish villages that were destroyed as well. Most of the village was civilians, were innocent. So many people were displaced that shouldn't have been displaced. Now we need to have a conversation of how to bring them back. But you're only talking about when Palestinians are suffering to war. I'm talking about when both are suffering to war. And when you take the names,
who's suffering from war? Suffering to war from who?
Arabs are from Arabia,
Okay.
right? Jews are
So,
from Judea. It
I
is
would
very
ra-
simple. Arabic language poured into that land, Arabic names poured into that
Okay,
land
can I
is
first
not
ask
from
you
the
who
land
we
of
were
Israel.
at war
So
for it
us,
with?
us,
Who?
1948, Israel was attacked by all the surrounding Arab countries
Okay.
from Jordan,
Well, prior
and Syria,
to Israel's
Lebanon,
existence,
and
prior
Egypt.
to Israel's existence.
Yeah, there were many confrontations that we had between our peoples, like in the 1930s and
Okay,
1920s,
I'd rather look
the
in-
Hebron massacre, where Haji Mina Hosseini incited the population
I
of
would
Hebron
much,
to go and kill the
okay,
Jews.
Let's look at Palestine present, Palestine proper, whatever you want to call it, the British
Palestine
mandate.
/ Israel, it's fine.
Okay, no, from 1948, from prior to 1948.
Yeah.
People lived there and were forcibly displaced
Both.
by a foreign entity
The
that
Jews
had
are not
come
foreign.
back. I view it as differently. I think that they
are
have
the Jews foreign?
I think that there is a Jewish connection to that land, and I don't
So
think
they
anyone
cannot be
here-
foreign.
But here's the thing: I said this earlier. If historical connection and indigeneity alone trumps whatever people are already there, then all
It
modern
does not trump
borders,
other people. It
but
just
that's
trumps
what you're
your-
saying. That
no,
goes,
I'm
you're
just saying
that,
don't call it foreign. I'm saying it trumps the idea that we're colonizers and foreign people. And because you see me as a foreigner and other
So
Israelis
why
see
did
you as
El
a
Hayek,
foreigner,
a
that
geneticist
because
from
we
John
see each-
Hopkins, says
because-
that a
because-
majority of the Jewish people in Israel do not have a connection to the Middle East. And I really hope I'm fact checked on this. His
Yeah.
name is El Hayek, and he's from John Hopkins and is an Israeli
there
geneticist.
are many geneticists that show that actually the Jews descend from this land, and Palestinians. We can go 60% of Palestinian genetics show that they descend from Jews. You can find
okay,
you can find publications.
okay,
Hold up.
you
You can
got
find
into this
publications
debate
in
earlier.
Nature and the
Okay,
American
cool.
Journal of Human Genetics. You can find the scientists like Nebel, Hammer, and Behar. I
Okay.
suggest everyone looks at it, and you can see that 60% of Palestinians descend from Jews. And if you go to places like
So,
Yatta,
okay, what- then-
Yafo, Hebron, Shechem, East Jerusalem, places that are ancient
I
Jewish
would
towns
okay.
that are
If
either
you want
today
to
or
look at
half
a case study,
either today
then
or
let's
half
look at how the
Palestinian.
people in Hebron are being treated. They are actively being caged in by the illegal settlers on that land. Have their doors.
If you go to Hebron, the majority of Hebron is controlled by the Palestinians. The minority of Hebron.
Okay, so we can pretty much cut it there because she said all the good juicy stuff already.
Mhm.
I feel like I don't really remember all of it, but the
It
biggest
sound-
part
it-
was
It sounds like when Columbus found America to me.
yeah. These people are just claiming that they have a right to land because they
Yeah.
want the right to have
Because
the
they
right.
saw it. But listen, because they saw it from a boat, so it's their land.
So, and it's crazy because I think Judaism is a religion. I think that multiple, like a black person can be Jewish, right?
Right.
So with
And you
that
do
being,
have some black people that are Jewish. So yeah, you got all kind of nationalities that that's all type of religions. There's no religion that's respected to one community.
right. And so with that being said, and even if there was, let's say that black people had their own religion that they felt was, indigenous to a certain land, or not even black people. Let's just say just any person in general.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just say, okay, now because my religion states in the holy book, in its holy book, that we
It's my
are,
land.
yeah, that now I can just take it over with war?
But according to the fact check, neither one of them it doesn't none of them descend from there. No, nobody descend. The people that's in Israel do not descend. They're not descendants of Israel.
Of Israel, exactly, because black people.
And that's exactly what she said. She said, everybody just kind of moved around and settled and made their own place their home or what have you, and that's what she's saying. It's not.
And that's how it's supposed to be because the world.
Yeah, because that's how America was.
This is a natural planet ecosystem that's been in place for billions of years.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that a small subset of people who were born on the planet
And
Now,
and on that land.
but not even on that land. They're not. I'm talking about these Israel people right now that are on this land that think that they have the right to this God produced, like natural produced. Nobody should have the right to any part of the land, if you ask me, is what I'm trying to get to. I think that all of the land is natural and people should come and go as they please wherever they go. You know what I mean?
That part.
Just like for America.
When I was saying that they was born there, I'm talking about the Palestinians. They were.
Oh
they
yeah,
were born,
they do their lineage. It ties them to the land.
Yes, it ties into the land. Just like people in America, nobody really in America is really descendants from America.
Right.
They're descendants from Africa
So how can
and European countries. So
how can we dictate who can and can't come when this ain't even our real land?
That part.
And that's the craziness about this world that we live in today. Like, how do we get?
And for BB to have to change his name, that let you know that wasn't his land.
Exactly. Hello.
Like where did you come from, sir? She didn't never say where he came from, did she? Let me look that up. Because I need to know.
What was Milwaukee or something? Wallahaski or something?
I don't know. But I'm finna find out because you're telling these people this not their land, but hell, it ain't yours either.
And like I said, I don't think anybody has the right to say. And obviously, the people that they're attacking ain't trying to take over their land, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're not in the bit. They just want to live their life, have that. You know what I'm saying? These people are, and then it should be okay for these random outside people to come to your land, your country, and bomb you the fuck out of it.
Okay, so he was born in Tel Aviv and raised in Jerusalem.
Netanyahu.
Yeah, he was born in Tel Aviv, Israel.
What was his original name?
Let me see. I'll find out what his original name is. Give me one moment.
But yeah, guys, I don't feel like this is right on any front. Just like I don't feel like it's right for the U.S. to be in Iran trying to dictate their regime when our regime is probably the worst regime on the planet Earth. And we're talking about Iran. We need to be focused and worried about what's going on with the regime in America. Because they're the ones killing innocent people, thousands of innocent lives, children, women. Babies. I mean, everything. Even American citizens. Now we're getting punished because y'all want to impose those crazy radical Israel IDF ideologies out here. With ICE. So,
and our money. Don't forget the tax dollars we sending over there. His original name is Milowski. Yeah, it's look like Milowski. Mileikowsky. So
Milwaukee or something.
Milwaukee is his original name. So
I wonder why he changed it.
So it can sound Israel, I guess. That's a Russian name. It derived from a
That's
Russian
what
name.
I said. It sounded like a Russian name.
Well, it derived from one. Now ask me to pronounce that. I cannot pronounce it.
He kind of looked like
Putin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his cousin probably.
Well,
it's, they did that a lot though. People changed their names to match the land and all of that.
But for him to be over the government and saying that they have a sacred right to the land, and you're Russian,
right? It ain't your land either, partner. Why you trying to colonize it?
But they trying to rewrite the narrative, and they trying to gaslight everybody into not saying anything negative about them.
Right, go along with what they trying to do.
and let them pretty much whitewash the Middle East.
I
That's what
told
they're
you
trying
they
to
like
do.
thugs. And Trump is trying to cleanse out America from
Yeah,
people
all
of
the
color.
black and brown, all the black and brown people. That's
Really,
what I'm
anybody of color other than white. It's basically what his goal is and what he wants.
hmm That's what it seems like.
And it's crazy.
Well, guys, we're gonna call it a night. We had a lot of stuff to discuss. I actually forgot that I had a video of
Oh,
Nick
we're not gonna get to
Fuentes.
we're not getting to the coon.
We're not gonna do the coon tonight because I
Okay.
feel like I want to add him with the Nick Fuentes clip that I forgot I had.
Oh, okay.
I
We'll do
have
it on next show.
yeah, I have about a 30-minute clip of Nick Fuentes outside of, I think it's the Turning Point,
Mm-hmm.
and they were doing a live basically because he got kicked out
Oh,
and he
they wouldn't
didn't
let
get.
him in.
They wouldn't let him in.
No.
Yeah, so we're gonna watch that live, and then we'll watch the Coon try to go against Brian Shapiro.
Well, he did flip the script on him though. He was with him, and then that's what happened when you flip the script.
Yeah, I
You
know.
can't come to the party.
You are no
Good night,
longer
Leo
welcome.
lady. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Leo lady. We appreciate you guys. Y'all hit the like button.
Oh, she said
Subscribe
she
if you
drove
haven't.
7 hours from Houston. I know you tired, lady.
Oh,
She said
Lord.
we brought her through Louisiana to Alabama. She'll finish up in the morning. All right, sis.
All right, I know that's
Be
right.
careful on the rest of your trip. But yeah,
Oh, if y'all don't know, Frontier is offering a unlimited flight pass. I think right now it's for $399. I know it's Frontier Airlines, but if you're just trying to get to where you gotta go and you have unlimited flights, there might be a good alternative for y'all. So y'all can look into that.
well, all I'm gonna say is don't go out of the country.
Oh, it don't go out the country though, yeah.
Oh, it don't go out the country.
I think you go to Puerto Rico. I think you can go to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
But not out the country, no.
Oh, okay. Well, good, because nobody in my mind, I don't feel like nobody needs to leave out the country because we got some crazy people in charge and you might not be able to get back in.
Well, guys, it has been real. It has been fun. Thank you guys for joining us tonight and being here. We appreciate it. Hit the like button if you haven't done so. Subscribe to all of the channels. Of course, Off the Record, I Said What I Said, and Foxy 2, Roxy 3. And we will be seeing y'all in a little while.
In a few days.
Ain't no telling.
Yeah, ain't no telling about us.
So subscribe and hit the notifications.
And thank you, thank everybody for coming out. Thank you guys for listening to us. You guys have a great Sunday night, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, you know what time it is. No scripts, no filters, no fear. We said what we said and meant that. Off the record, yeah, we keep it real. No filters, here we say what we feel. Politics, stories, truth on display. Come on, we talk that talk in our own way. Off the record, minion the guy, let's go. Foxy 2, Roxy 3, she go hard.
I swear on everything that is exactly what he said right here in the studio.
That is the funniest thing I have heard all week.
So hard, Lizzie with the facts, she never miss. I said what I said, that's the twist. Off the record, come and catch the vibe. Where real ones talk and the truth survive. Late night truth, we don't just speak. We pull the roots from what they keep. From pain to progress, we light the flame. No spin, no script, we call it by name. Minion bring the vision, Foxy bring the flame. Lizzie drop a cease, it'll never be the same. I said what I said, say it loud, no shame. We taking truth global, remember the name. No apologies, no disguise. Just soul and purpose in our eyes. We move with power, bold and free. Say it loud, you gon' feel this energy. Oh, yeah. record.